So thank you for joining the Friends Eye View. Spoilers, my name is Shaun. Obviously, I'm with my buddy Jose.
Hello, hello, hello.
So Jose, you made us do Don't Move, the movie.
Yes. Yes.
Before we start, how would you rate this bad boy?
I enjoyed it. I really have to say I really enjoyed it. There's a couple of issues that I've had with it, but not so much to degrade my rating for it. So I would give it a 7.5. Actually, let's do 8. I'll do an 8. I was teeter-tottering on 7.5 to 8, but I enjoyed it. I'd give it an 8.
Nice. I definitely gave it an 8 because I would watch it again, and that's kind of the requirement
Sure.
for that. So I gave it an 8. As far as thrillers go, I like thrillers, especially like horror type thrillers, which is what this is.
Sure.
Kind of the whole serial killer vibe. What I liked about it is because, we talked about this before, where you can't really emulate real life to the T, because real life to the T means the movie would be done in 15 minutes.
Sure. Sure.
Because real life is real life.
Yes.
You're not going to get by with killing people and just kind of go on your merry way, like they do in movies, But the goal is always to make things believable, even if it's fantasy, because as we agreed, this is all fantasy because we made this shit up in our heads.
Sure.
To make it believable enough that we go, hey, look, if we were in this situation, this would probably be the way things go.
Yeah, I would think.
And I liked how they stuck with that. Because most of these types of like serial killer shit, to me, they do the dumbest things ever. Is they'll have some like sketchy house that's falling apart and nowhere with tall grass, and then some kids who just look at the house and think to themselves, we must fucking go in there. Nobody I know
would go in there.
Would ever go. I'm not going into some sketchy ass house that's falling apart.
Right. Exactly.
Worse is when they get in and, and this is like a majority of like the serial killer type movies or like these types of horror. It's like they walk in and there's like mason jars of eyeballs and fingers and toes.
Sure.
And a rational person, because like I said, me, I'm never going in the house anyway. Unexpected opportunity or chance that I actually would go into a house like that. As soon as I saw mason jars of human parts, I'm not going to check it out, okay? I'm not going to look any further. I've seen enough.
Yeah.
To fucking go.
And my curiosity would not be piqued as well.
So that's how they all are. It's like, that's opening scene.
Sure.
Ooh, decrepit church? I must go in there. Oh, it's locked? Let me bring the door down. Then you go in there and they're like, oh, there's no lights, but there's body parts everywhere. Let's investigate.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's not what
normal people would do.
99.9% of people. You probably find that 0.1%.
Sure.
Would absolutely do that because there's nothing 100%, but 99.9% of us are not going to do that shit. So what I liked about this movie is that they kind of made it believable.
Yeah.
The whole way through, and they kind of went along with how the atypical serial killer story is. And that's what I find crazy about serial killers, because all serial killers are, to me, pansies. They're worthless. They're the worst of people. They're weak,
and they all hide in plain sight.
They're weak individuals. So if a serial killer is listening, understand. I think you're a pussy. You're a pussy. Okay. Now, but I don't know if YouTube is going to let me post this one, but it's
not nice to antagonize serial killers, but okay.
Seriously, if I run into one and I know, look, I'm in Colombia. Come find me, you pussy. That's my. That's my. That's my. That's my take on those guys.
There you go.
So, look, man, you've been my friend for how long? You know I don't give a fuck with those cowards things.
Yeah, I know. I've been on that road with you.
So, like,
No, but the movie itself was enjoyable.
what I'm getting at is what I like is that, like, serial killers, like, if you read the documentaries, they always have these long, elaborate plans on how they're going to kill their victim.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a drive-by. It's not like a mob hit where I walk in and I shoot you. It's I'm gonna kidnap you. I'm gonna get you back, and we're gonna go on a road trip. I'm gonna knit you a sweater. We're gonna buy Uber Eats. We're gonna watch a movie. Then I'm gonna torture you. And then what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, but the thing about this movie is even serial killers who've done it quite a bit, I'm assuming, even they will eventually make mistakes, such as the serial killer in this movie never checked her pockets, which could happen. I can actually see that happening.
And it does. Like, people escape and different things.
Yeah.
My life probably did the flaw the right way to make it realistic. But like I said, he went the serial killer route of, I'm not just going to kill you.
Sure.
We're going to go on this road trip to this cabin.
And obviously, he's been doing it quite a bit because of the fact that they gave you those clues throughout the movie. His wife, when she called him, she says, "Hey, you've been going up to the cabin quite a bit lately." And then towards the end, he says, "You'll have plenty of people in there joining you in the lake." So obviously, he's been killing for quite a while.
Yeah, no, like I definitely liked a lot of that because, like, one of the tricks in screenwriting is that you want to put things on a time.
Sure.
Put things on it. And you see a lot of movies where they do this, where you have 24 hours to find the cure.
Yeah.
Or else you're going to die,
Yes.
Those are the more elaborate ones.
Okay.
I like the way they did it because it was very, very subtle. The time wasn't there originally. Like, he was going to get all weekend.
Yeah.
But then a time constraint came on.
Yeah.
His daughter and his wife were like, "Hey, we're coming to the cabin."
Yes.
That's where he's trying to take her.
Yes.
And then it makes you wonder, like, he now has a completely different vehicle.
Yes.
You're like, are they going to show the wife's, like, are they going to show the wife? Are they going to show what happened? Because he clearly was in an accident.
Yeah.
Because, he had cuts and different things that a normal wife would be like, "Hey, how'd you cut your face? How'd you break your nose? Whatever." Right?
Explain that exactly.
And then, where's the vehicle that we've been paying on for the past?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he doesn't have the SUV now. Where did you get this rusted truck?
Yeah.
And then, it leaves those questions. Now he has to explain how he got the rusted truck.
Yes.
So I really liked how they did all that. When she was in the cabin, I thought it was kind of unique that they went like the syringe route.
Yes.
Sterilizer. Because I was like, when she was running through the woods, I'm thinking, okay, cool. This is a perfect opportunity since that it's only going to, because he says it.
Yes.
It'll last about an hour. Obviously there would be challenges past that. I mean, but
of course.
So is she going to hide for an hour? And then she found a good spot where it's sort of hid for an hour, but then basically women
started bothering her. Yeah.
Women's most fearful thing happened. And this isn't meant to be chauvinistic. I know how women in my life have responded to bugs.
Yes, of course.
And none of them are like, "Hey, look, there's a bug."
Yeah.
It's like, there's a fucking bug.
Yeah. And how from there, she goes right to the water, which is good. And he was like, "I can't believe it." And then that's even more time constraints, not just the crash, but that. Yeah.
Now she's in the river and you're like, okay, cool. That's actually kind of smart because she can float. Float is a thing, even if you're kind of paralyzed because of the drug. You can still, but then she goes into the rabbits, and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
that can be problematic,
Well,
And then she found the guy.
oh, I love Bill. Moray Treadwell's character, Bill. I loved Bill.
Yeah, he was. He reminded me of because we both served as we talked.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He reminds me of like one of those Vietnam vets.
Okay. Yeah.
Where you expect him to put on a hat.
Yeah.
Take his ship from fucking nobody.
Yeah. And that's the thing nowadays. You do not know.
70 years old, but you still kind of be like, I will put you in your place. and then that's the vibe that I got from it. I'm like,
yep.
And I thought that was kind of a cool vibe. And that's when he was that way. He was like, he realized he was lying.
Yeah.
Well, he was like, and
he was tormented as well because, he started the serial killer, Richard or Finn Whitrock, who plays that character, was appealing to his sensitive side and he stopped hitting them. Had he continued to whoop his ass, that movie would have been over. But, he promised his wife that he wouldn't settle things with his fist because obviously he was good at settling things with his fist. So
he was beating his ass. I was like cheering him on. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great scene. Even my wife, she watched it with me at the time, and even she was like, "Wow, okay."
like I really even when he was like, "I'm gonna kill you," the dude was like, "Nah, I'll kill you first."
Exactly.
And then he just kind of got lucky. And I'm like, oh man. But then again, I knew he was going to have to die because the movie couldn't be over at that point. Because
exactly, yeah. So you saw it kind of coming, yeah. Exactly.
We still have half the movie left,
Yeah. Yep.
What I thought was kind of cool and kind of irony is like this whole thing is ironic, and that's what is like. Number one, at the beginning of the movie, the opening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's obviously things that I wouldn't have done in it, or I would have done differently.
Okay.
But like I said, it was kind of believable in how it's set up. Like the serial killer talks her off the ledge.
Yes.
And since it may go on YouTube, we can't say what it was, but from meeting an untimely early checkout.
Yes.
He talked
which kind of allowed her to trust him just a tad bit.
Exactly. So he talked her off the ledge, only to kill her himself.
Yes. Exactly. Which kind of, like you said, it's very ironic.
Exactly.
I don't want you to do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay.
And then he said, like, in real life, obviously, there's some the things that I wouldn't do.
Sure.
Like, number one, I wouldn't be in the woods like that by myself anyway.
That's one of the things out to my one. Yes.
If I was, the fact that we had to go pretty far distance, it looked like, to get there.
Sure.
Never climbing over rocks and crossing rivers.
Yeah.
And I'm not expecting anybody to be out here with me. So
exactly
I will automatically assume you have a 99% chance for ill intention.
Yes.
Going to treat you like a threat.
Yes.
And then as soon as I saw that our cars were parked right next to each other.
Yes.
In a very open parking spot.
Yes.
I already know that 1% of ill intention has not been answered.
Exactly. Big red flag.
You have two options. You're either going to leave. If you get out of your car, that pocket knife that I have in my pocket will be in my right hand.
Yeah.
A stick and a rock in my left hand. And I'm cracking. And I'm stuck. I'll answer questions later.
There you go. Exactly right.
But I understand the realism of like, we're vets, so we're a little bit different.
We're built a lot different.
A lot of us think instantaneously, threat immediately,
Yes.
and especially if something isn't checking out. I mean, I'll fucking do it in my street. I love my neighbors. If I see a person at 2:00 in the morning walking down the street, in my head, I'm watching his ass.
Yes.
Because they could be like anything. They could neighbor, they could be friends of my neighbor, they could be the greatest person in the world. But in my head, you are a threat until I assume you are not.
Exactly. Which brings me to the point where the police officer took his eye off of him.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the only thing that I did not like about the movie.
Yeah, the police officer, especially if you were because I've dealt with police, and granted, we live in a world where, especially in the United States, where you have the police, and most of them are relatively good people.
Sure.
Obviously, it's a tough job. Obviously, it is. I mean, if people are honest about it, it's not an easy job because you're only thinking about the tickets. You're only thinking about speeding.
Yes.
And that's just one part of it.
Of course, yeah.
The other part is dealing with abusers, rapists, murderers, child molesters, and all these other aspects of human nature that are much darker.
Yes.
And they have to deal with those monsters on a daily basis as well.
Yes.
So what I liked about it was, and what I thought is like, he's trying to pitch his lie.
Yes.
And the cop was started off kind of going along with it, but then it's going, hey, this isn't checking out.
Yes.
His problem was, and I can actually see this happening, is that she starts going, help me.
Yes.
And so now he's like, she's not saying it loud because of the obvious reason.
Yes.
So he's trying to give her the attention. So he made a human error is what he did.
Yes.
So, I mean, obviously he was going to die, but I don't think that it was unbelievable necessarily, because I could see if you and I were cops, I mean, I would have my gun trained on the guy by now.
Yeah.
It's got way too many shady things going on.
Yes.
And he was way too, or at least, maybe this is why I'm also not a cop, because it's kind of no nonsense. I'd probably mess up a lot. So I'm good thing I'm not a cop, but I don't know. Like I would look at her and be like, why is she comatose like that?
Yeah, because she can't move. She's not. Yeah, exactly.
Automatically, because like I said, I consider people threats.
Yeah.
So this guy is doing a whole bunch of things that would red flag in my head as
exactly. And even when he says that she was drunk people still move.
I think the crazy thing is he's like, oh, she's been drunk for 10 hours. In my head, that would have been like, look, I've drank for a long freaking time.
Sure.
And I know it don't last 10 hours. Okay. Not to the point where you can't move.
Yeah.
If you can't move because you drank, the side of the road is not where you need to be.
Exactly.
The hospital is where you need to be. Why, and all these things that weren't checked. But yeah, he got the drop on him is what had happened.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought the irony also was when she was in the house, right? And she was underneath the couch or whatever.
Yes.
And after he killed the dude, he sets it on fire.
Yes, that's what I'm like.
The one who saves her.
Yeah.
Burning to death. Just so he can kill her.
Exactly. Not to fire me, not you, me.
Exactly. Like he's like, all these, I don't want you to take yourself out. I don't want the fire to take you out. I don't want it.
But even if the fire would have taken her out, it's still ironic that he still killed her because he set the fire. So it's like, wow, okay.
But he didn't even want the fire that he set to kill her. He's like,
exactly.
Look, I will go into the burning building to save you because you are not going to deny me
Yes.
my tradition.
Exactly. Yeah. It was an overall good movie. I really,
I really enjoyed it. I thought, like I said, I like new freshes and new
sure.
new points of view and new.
You do know the serial killer who he is, right? When I first saw him, he was in the American Horror Story
Oh, you mean the actor?
stories. Yeah, the actor.
See, I didn't recognize him. I mean, he definitely, he definitely, like that guy definitely has like the charm and like the looks and things. If he were to become a serial killer,
Yes.
he would be a force to reckon with. Kind of like almost like Ted Bundy was, where he was like I think it was Ted Bundy, but where he was like charming and attractive and would lure people with.
Yeah. He first got my attention from the American Horror Stories, but they are saying that he was on All My Children, that soap opera from like 2009 to 2011. I didn't see him there. I just first saw him in American Horror Stories, and he did a great job there too. So yeah, it's pretty good actor.
Sucks because like if he goes for other roles, like all he's playing is like serial killers.
That's what my wife said.
And that's the catch-22 with actors. Like that's where I feel sorry for actors because
if they're too good at the role, then we can't see them in something else. Yeah, exactly.
The truth is like method actors is what they call them are the best, to me, the best actors. Because what they do is they become that role.
Sure.
Like they study the role, they practice the role. Even when they're off set, they'll pretend to be the character so that they can live life, so they can really be the character.
Yeah.
And then we watch and we go, oh shit, you did a great job. Then they win awards for that role and everything else. And then that's the only role type of, right?
Yeah.
You see this a lot. Like, I know Matthew McConaughey had a problem with it because he always did the rom-com things, but he did them so well.
Yeah.
And it like he had to like fight to do something else.
Of course.
There's only a few exceptions to the rule that were just like I think Denzel's probably the best, I think, when it comes to it.
Yeah.
Because like every role he becomes that character. But somehow doesn't get locked down in a specific.
Exactly. Yeah.
This.
They never locked him down saying, oh, you can only play this role. You can only play this role. He pretty much played everything that was presented to him in the script and he rocked it and knocked it out of the park. So
that's very, very hard to do because go down. We can a list of people that were just so good at what they did that their careers were over.
Of course.
Because of that one character.
So, what did you think of Iris Kelsey? I think her name Kelsey Asbill, I think it is. What did you think of her? Of course, it's ironic that she first wanted to kill herself, and then towards the end, she's a survivor. And, most people in a situation like that, they're going to try to survive,
Oh, what I really liked about this, they did a callback. So a callback is when you reference something from beginning and somewhere else.
Gotcha. Okay.
As a reference to another point or something that was said. It's really kind of good to do in movies.
Yes.
But she referenced the thank you lady because
he said, yes.
It seems like I stood on top of her and I looked her in the eyes. I said, thank you.
Yep. And I told my wife before she said it, and I was like, she's going to say thank you. And sure enough, I was like, yep. I was like, yep, it was awesome. Yeah, I like that part too.
I like using callbacks because in the Blood Queen, we have a callback for sure. Yeah, callback is even more. There's actually quite a few of those, but they're playful ones to kind of add layers to the story,
Exactly.
I kind liked how she looked down at him and said, thank you.
And what about her money way?
Her eyes made me wonder. And that's the thing, they made me had a question because they did it so symbolically, like what he said she did.
Yeah.
So it made me wonder if after this, since her kid is gone,
Yeah.
her husband, I don't know, his wife has been gone for how long?
Exactly. At least a better part of the day.
At least, maybe even two.
Yeah.
I mean, she was clearly willing to offer herself. So I don't know if their relationship is really
Rock solid. Yeah.
yeah. So like her face, the way they ended it, the camera shot, the way they ended it, made me wonder because if you reference like in the beginning or in around the middle when they were talking,
yeah,
where he was like, "I never believed in God until I did this, and I saw God." Right?
Wow.
Well, that's what he told her, right? So
yeah.
And so when he looks down at her, or she looks down at him, because she says she didn't believe in God.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder if after this, if she won't
become one. Yeah.
do what he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would hope that she wouldn't.
Yeah.
But they left the way that they left ended it made me think this could be a passing of torch.
Yeah.
I went through a lot of crap, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I got the same thing. I said it could either go that route or it could also be like, thank you for giving me the opportunity to live again. You know, life goes on. You know, it could go either way. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty great ending as well. Leaves you on the edge of your seat, wondering what's going to happen next.
And that's what a good movie does. Is it leaves you. That's why I never liked the whole driving off into the sunset shit.
Sure.
Because driving off in the sunset doesn't make me wonder nothing.
Yeah.
What am I going to wonder?
Yeah.
Going to hit traffic? That's what I'm going to wonder. You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
Going through an hour and a half of crazy shit. You just drive off into the sunset?
Exactly.
No. Leave me asking the question, oh shit.
Yeah.
What's going to happen next?
Exactly. Yeah. You know. So I would have to say hells to the yeah.
I would definitely watch it again. I would definitely pay to watch history because I'm too white. Yeah. So
good. So hopefully you'll pick a good one.
Look, man, I do not watch trailers. I do not read reviews.
I know you go by title alone. That's fine.
Title alone.
I am looking forward to it, my friend. I'm looking forward to it.
I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I randomly pick based on the genre that I'm feeling at the point.
Sure,
but that's because like the vampire, the last movie, is because I was in a mood for a vampire movie.
That's fine, not a problem.
And so
we will review whatever we review. We're good to go.
Absolutely, buddy.
All right. Yes, sir. Have a good one. We'll talk soon.